And welcome back to CNN Newsroom. In Israel, the Druze minority are taking a big stand. They led tens of thousands of people in a protest Saturday against the country's new nation-state law. The law declares Israel a Jewish state, but the Druze say it discriminates against them. Our Oren Lieberman joins me now from Jerusalem. Oren, was this protest expected or somewhat of a surprise?
The Druze anger has been building ever since the controversial nation-state law was passed, and it's important to understand what they're angry about. The Druze, a minority in Israel numbering less than 150,000, weren't angry about the fact that this law makes Israel the nation-state of the Jewish people. The Druze support that. What they're angry about is that the law then fails to mention equality or democracy or minority rights. That's what they'd like to see added here. And it's that lack of the word equality that says, or that has led their leaders to say, this law makes them feel like second-class citizens, them and other minorities in Israel. This protest had been planned. Now, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had been meeting with Druze leaders over the course of the last couple days to try to work out some sort of compromise. It looked like he had a proposed compromise that he called a historic outline for recognizing Druze and other minority contributions, but that fell apart when the meetings between Netanyahu and the Druze fell apart quite angrily. That then led into this protest where you see tens of thousands of people in Tel Aviv's central Rabin Square. There are two flags there you see, one obviously the Israeli flag, the second that multicolored Druze flag. They led this protest, but they weren't the only speakers. In fact, the Israeli mayor of Tel Aviv spoke and he said, look, before this law was passed, Israel was both Jewish and democratic. After this law was passed, I'm paraphrasing here, he said all of Israel's citizens are not treated equally. That gets at the anger of this law. The question now is what happens next? Druze leaders, as well as other politicians, have suggested there could be a special law passed or some other fix to the nation-state law. But Israel's parliament isn't in session, so any solution is already on hold as anger over this law builds. We'll see if there are more protests planned, but this was certainly an enormous one, Natalie.
Right. Are the Druze getting support from other Israelis?
They very much are. That protest was not only Druze. If so, it would have been probably more than half the Druze population in Israel. There were a number of others who see the law as discriminatory, say the law is perhaps racist, treats Israelis or other Israelis as second-class citizens, and they were very much out there supporting the Druze. I had mentioned the mayor of Tel Aviv. He's Israeli. He was supporting the Druze, and he called for some kind of solution to make the Druze feel whole again, to acknowledge what they've contributed. And not only the Druze, other Israeli citizens who are not Jewish. And there are a number of different groups there, from Bedouin to Circassian to others. So they were all part of that anger over the law. And now we'll see what kind of fix some of the politicians can work around, or does this anger continue to grow here?
All right. Well, you'll be watching it for us. Oren Lieberman, as always. Thank you, Oren.